Live from the Spill Studios located off the I-35 corridor, it's time once again for a very short, a couple of cold ones with Corey and Carla.
I wish I had some jingle bells to play in the background because this is like the Christmas special.
Well, no, because we'll actually record the Christmas special here on Sunday.
Oh, that's right. We have another one.
No, this isn't the last one, but this is the
good.
we're making up for last week episode.
I have time to get my jingle balls ready.
Jingle balls, jingle all the way.
You know that's not a real song. You stop then. The reason why we are keeping this short is because we wanted to catch up from last week.
Yeah, because it's been fucking busy.
Yeah.
You and I both have tales to tell, and at the same, because we actually have not. This is the first time we've seen each other since our last couple of cold
That's
ones.
right. Yeah,
we literally said goodbye, and then we went off on our own separate adventures, and we finally kind of caught up with what we're doing, and we're like, hey, we can actually show up and be in the same room together.
Well, I am still jet lagged, tired. I haven't slept since I've been back because I'm trying to catch up on stuff. I ain't going crazy though.
Keep you away from the alcohol.
Yeah, I haven't had the alcohol
plus
for
no
one
sleep
thing.
equals thrown chairs.
So I don't know if I might not be on top of my game on this one, but I'm gonna try to be. I don't know what you want to do. Do you want to cover the top five?
You know what? Let's cover the top five
All right, let's do it
because
anyway.
you know what?
Shit.
It's not like by the time we post a Coco anyway, people can't find it online or haven't read it already. But it's our in-depth analysis
Exactly.
and total bullshit that they tune in to listen to.
It's our what'd you say? Our in-depth analysis. Yes,
Our in-depth analysis.
kicking our knowledge on what the top five is.
Which brings us to the top five. Brought to us by Bill.
You're gonna eat that microphone one week.
I can't eat the microphone. We've got a pop guard in front of me.
No, your mouth will grow so big that you will like. People go look at a clip for The Stuff with Garrett Morris. Do you remember that scene?
Do I remember that? Me and Jason from Leog, we sat down about 2 months ago, and he's like, "Dude, I just got The Stuff in today," and I'm like, "Oh, we still have to watch that." So we got together and downed a couple of brews and watched The Stuff.
That's one of my
God,
favorite
is that
movies.
movie awful?
Yeah, no, it's
so
terrible.
bad.
But I love that movie though. I love it.
And you can tell that there's like no script, that they're literally ad-libbing through the whole thing.
No, at the beginning, the two guys, there's something white bubbling from the ground. I'm like, let's taste it. We can market this and sell it. Yeah, The Stuff is this movie from the 80s where these guys find this white stuff bubbling from the ground in the Arctic or something, and they decide immediately to just market and sell it like yogurt. And everybody becomes addicted to it. And it's called The Stuff. And everybody becomes addicted to it. The thing is, it's actually a parasite that eats you from the inside out and takes over your mind and body, and you become crazy. Anyway, there's a scene in there where Garrett Morris, you can't miss him. He's the only black guy in the movie. He becomes taken over by the stuff, and he starts talking to this woman saying he knows the secret behind the stuff because he actually is taken over by it. And his mouth, it's an effect where he turns into a latex head all of a sudden. It's all rubber, and his mouth becomes huge while he's spitting up this white thing from his body. And that all leads up to me telling you that's what you look like when you speaking to that microphone.
Well, Garrett Morris is the only one who seems to know what he's doing, and even then, he doesn't know what he's doing.
I love it with that scene where he comes up and he's like, "I know the secret behind."
You know
this."
what? Maybe that's how I felt watching Bratz. So,
But you're gonna eat.
I know the secret to why this movie sucks.
Oh man, so let's go with number 5 here.
Number 5.
Australia.
Hey, wow, that's still around.
You don't hear. This is the movie that you don't hear shit about, except when we talk about the top 5.
Because it's the one that people kind of sneak off to. It's like, well, I'm gonna see it, and they go and see it, but nobody's talking about it.
Australia hasn't even made that much money.
No.
I'm just looking at the numbers. Like, this is how out of it I am. I'm not even looking at the numbers. Like, Australia made $37.7 million. And it's been out for 3 weeks.
Yeah, welcome to the wonderful world of
Damn.
yeah. No, welcome to the wonderful world of this time of year, because this time of year does not get good until the week before Christmas.
Well, anyway.
All right, which brings us to number 4.
Sexy. Bolt.
Yay, Bolt! I'm so happy that Bolt is still around. Bolt is so good.
See, even
Which
Bolt
is
has
now.
been out for 4 weeks and still hasn't topped 100 million
Nope.
yet. So, all right. Well, moving on to number 3.
Moving on up to number 3.
Look at you, getting
Number
soulful.
3.
Negro spirituals in here. Now I'm lively. Your boy is at number 3. The
Negro spirituals?
Negro spirituals. You heard me.
Negra?
No, you heard me. I'm going to come on there and dance in your head. You keep saying. Number 3 is your boy, the glittering vampire, man.
My boy. My boy. No,
Your
number
boy.
3 is my girls. You know, this is the easiest way to get laid in the movie theaters right now.
In the theaters.
I saw this great video of these two guys brushing up on their Twilight lore so they could go to a Twilight convention and get all the Twilight loving poon that's there. And wow, is, you know, come on.
So what did they do? Did they like get clear glue and
No. They read the books
themselves?
and pretended that they liked them.
I thought they walked through with glitter all over them, talking about Blair.
No, I think I think what you do is you have to tuck under to pretend you don't have any testicles, and then you read the book. And then when you read the book, you have to really, really pretend that you like it, and then you talk to a girl about it. And go, oh yeah, I love it. It's kind of like, you know, what us dorks used to do with like Pride and Prejudice back in the day. You know,
Oh shit, I'm taking notes right now. By
take
the way.
some notes. You get yourself some 14-year-old Twilight poon, my man.
I was going to get one of those 50-year-old lonely women who's into vampires.
Yeah, no, you were going to do that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
that's legal, man. That's
I got you
easy.
I got you mixed up with Cyrus there for a second. Yeah.
God damn, this movie has made $150 million.
It has, man. It's wow.
Yeah, no, and after 4 weeks, that's blowing my mind, man. Who would have known that this shit which came out of well, I didn't know anything about Twilight.
No, those of us with testicles, it came out of nowhere. For everyone with lacking testicles, which I guess means Cyrus as well. It's
Oh man, come on.
no, it just, they were like, of course it was going to be a huge hit. It's like, it's not even good. But you know what? It reminds me of Tomb Raider. It's that movie that's crap and everyone knows it's crap, but they go and see it anyway.
I looked at this the first time it came out. I laughed my ass off. I was like, well, that's going to be a bomb. Look at that bullshit right there. And goddamn, $150 million later. So whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Which brings us to number 2.
Christians and vampires. If you want to make some money, that's what you got to do movies on. 4 Christmases. $13 million this weekend, $87.8 million overall.
Still not a good movie.
And still at number 2.
Yep.
Yeah,
but it's got the word Christmas in it.
Yeah, I mean,
and everyone loves Reese Witherspoon. Really, I think she and Vince Vaughn together, that was a great idea to put them in the same room. Financially, it just didn't work as a film.
Well, apparently, like a lot of people have been telling me that, and you were one of them. A lot of people have been telling me that they just did not get along on the set together. I mean, we talked about that before last week.
Which brings us,
go ahead,
to the number 1 film,
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Day the Earth Stood Still, brother. I did not listen to your review. What did you think of that?
I thought it was pointless. I thought it started out pretty strong, but after a while, I was like, this is boring. We really didn't need this.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was.
Well, I knew you would.
Yeah, well, it's my kind of movie. I mean, it really is. I was watching it going, wow, this really is my kind of film. But
now, is this your kind of movie that you like because you ate dinner with the director?
No, the thing is, keep in mind that the director flew me out not as a critic. He flew me out because he's been reading my stuff for a long time, and we almost always agree on film. Like when we sat down and had dinner together for 3 hours, we talked about films that we loved and we never disagreed. It was like, you know what film and we were mentioning films that we like that other people don't, that we both loved. And we totally bonded the film he made because he believed that was a great film. And I watched it and saw that he, saw all the great things about it that he had, put in it.
Come on. Do you think that was a great movie?
I think it was a really good movie. I never used the word great.
I'm asking you.
I think it was a really good movie. I think it has a few slight issues to it, but overall, I think it was a really good remake. I thought he did a lot of very interesting things with it, and he was faithful. And the things they added were kind of cool. I love the whole the aphid Gort thing that he unleashes at the end.
I thought that was totally ridiculous.
Oh, dude,
I mean, I don't want to do point counterpoint. I want to say everything that you said I hated. Yeah. Because I mean, pretty much everything you've said, I think the opposite about, except for like the beginning was actually pretty cool. And I liked Keanu Reeves at the beginning of the movie. But as the movie went along, I thought it became kind of dull. I didn't think it was faithful. I mean, I'm trying to pull it away from the original movie, because the original movie, that alien
it's dated.
Well, it's dated because but that's what makes it so cool. I mean, the soundtrack is one of the most famous soundtracks.
Oh yeah,
and it's just something that I thought they just could not replicate. And I'm looking at how the original was and comparing it to this. So I'm looking at the movie two ways. I'm looking at it how it is compared to the original, and I'm looking at it how it stands alone. And as it goes for the original movie, it's dated, but that original movie still has more heart to it than this movie does. I mean,
I seriously beg to differ.
The Klaatu character, when he was discovering how humans were. I mean, that was really heartfelt. Here, it just seems like after a while, Keanu Reeves has no emotion, and you just do not connect with him.
Well, no, that's actually what I actually really dug that aspect, because here's an alien that's been watching us through our satellite broadcast for years. He understands. In the original, we didn't have anything like that. So when he shows up on our lawn, it's kind of like he's walking around going, what is this? Wow, this is a truly strange, universe. And he, wanders around on our planet and goes, oh, hey, I'll have a 10-year-old boy take me to a baseball game. That'll be great. That's what Earth's all about. And here, this guy knows what baseball is, and he doesn't give a shit, because he's here to either see if we're going to be if we're worthy of saving, or if he needs to eradicate us.
I don't mind if the character was that way and it was interesting, but I just didn't care for any character in this movie, except for maybe Jennifer Connelly, who was trying her best to bring something to this.
She was working her ass off.
And she really was. There was a lot of bad dialogue with the side characters. I mean, the moment one of the agents from the government comes in and knocks on the door, and it's like, is there anybody who can take care of the boy? I mean, it's like, now, why is he talking like an alien? I mean, it's like, if a government agent would be like, so your son, ma'am, or your kid, is there a neighbor that can take up? And they're not going to come to your door and be like, is there someone to take care of the boy? I'm like, oh, come on. and the thing that killed me the most was Jaden Smith. That kid was fucking annoying in that movie. I wanted to strangle him. Not him, the actor. I wanted to strangle his character.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of the whole aspect of his character. He's a snotty little pain in the ass who's going to get us all killed. And I actually kind of dug that aspect.
Yeah, I really need, for this kind of movie, looking at the original and looking at this, I really cared for that Klaatu character in the film. I mean, he maybe it's written different, but you connect with him in a certain way, because he is kind of realizing what human beings are like, and he's kind of beginning to have human sensibilities himself. I'm not saying he should have done it in this movie exactly, but you got to care for somebody, and there's really nobody to care for me.
Yeah, I did. I really cared for Jennifer Connelly. I mean, she really acted her ass off. I think she did a great job. Nothing truly memorable, but that character didn't really have a lot to do. They actually gave the character a lot more to do in this film than they did the original. In the original, she was just a housewife secretary.
She was a secretary, yeah.
And she, is, her biggest concern is marrying a guy who could be a father and be a provider, so she doesn't have to be a secretary anymore. It was a very 50s kind of ideal, whereas here they completely swap it around, and she's actually the main person dealing with Klaatu. Yeah, and I dug that, and I really kind of felt for her.
No, I like that they bumped it up that way. I mean, to give her more of a serious role instead of just having her be some typical housewife.
But no, she definitely didn't. There weren't any scenes in there that really. He got a workhorse like Jennifer Connelly to add weight to a character that wasn't heavy to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, so. I know some people like the movie. It made, and this isn't me going. I'm not trying to down the movie. It actually made a disappointing $30.5 million. They expected a lot more.
Well, it's what it is it's a mixed victory. The thing is, it did really well internationally. It's been very well reviewed internationally. So it's going to make it made a lot more internationally than they expected to. Normally there's a 1/3, 2/3 split of the amount of money you make. On an average big blockbuster film like this, you'll make 1/3 of your money domestically and 2/3 foreign. It looks like it's going to be more than that. The downside is that Fox really needed a hit, and they really needed a big hit. And I think they programmed this on this weekend, because this was the same weekend last year that I Am Legend came out, and they said, this is perfect. Dystopian science fiction did really well last year, so let's try end of the apocalyptic science fiction, and it didn't play like.
And there was some other movie that was released around the same time. They wanted to, I can't remember what it was, but it was another science fiction film, and they wanted to do the same kind of numbers, and this did not do that. No. Again, not me coming down on the movie. I actually, when I saw the trailer, I wasn't thinking anything big about it, but I thought, there's an atmosphere here that I think I could be drawn into. I just didn't grab me, man. I actually didn't really like it that much. But
I dug it, but it didn't make my top 10 list.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, you didn't expect that to make your top 10 at any point, did you?
The thing is I Am Legend made my top 10 list last year. If you
Really?
recall, yeah, no, that was my number 10 movie. I really dug the hell out of I Am Legend. I just got the big cool Warner Brothers box set on that, and I'm like, dude, this thing is awesome. I love that movie.
That's what they need. They needed Will Smith to be the alien in this.
Well,
Come out grinning and shit.
that was his son.
Yeah,
That was
I know.
funny. In
But-
fact, Will Smith was at the premiere. I got to meet Will Smith.
Yeah, no, well, that's his son. I saw pictures of him walking him down the red carpet and shit.
Yeah, actually, what I heard, which was interesting, and this was really kind of cool, was he and Jada are apparently super parents. Like, Jada was on set all the time. She was always around, and she doesn't let that kid get away with nothing.
You make it sound like Will Smith was on there in his Hancock outfit, super parent.
No, well,
Super
no,
Will.
that's exactly how it was described to me. Was they're always there. They're they have a very strong family unit, and they've like dedicated themselves to be the kind of parents that their parents were. So they're not these cool, laid back kind of parents that have a nanny that take care of the kids. They take care of the kids, and apparently, like, Jada wouldn't let Jaden get away with anything. Like, she had no problem punishing him in front of the rest of the cast and crew, and that it was one of those things where you're a kid, and I'm going to treat you like a kid because I'm your mom, and you're not getting away with that just because you're in a movie.
See, she should have walked into the Day the Earth Stood Still and beat his ass in the middle of the movie. I would have loved that movie then.
He was. I mean, the thing is that character is really obnoxious, and there were times where I wanted to smack the shit out of him too, but in the way you're supposed to want to smack the shit out of him. It's like, if my dad were here, he would kill Klaatu, and it's like, oh, shut up.
Yeah, exactly. Shit, I'm gonna kill
But
you.
that's how kids are, you know.
And how about we let this alien just kill you instead of the Earth? How about we sacrifice your little dumbass?
Yeah, can we trade Jaden for the? But yeah, so that was a really wild premiere too. That was.
Oh yeah, what was it like?
It was very surreal. I mean, I've gone to a bunch of premieres here in town, and it was nothing like this. This was literally like I was on the list, and there was a queue for those of us on the list. Like, we had to go and stand in a separate line and get checked and go through like 10 different security guys. Like, we were in this IMAX theater in Lincoln Square, and it's like 5 escalators up, and they had security guards at the bottom and top of each escalator to check our ticket as we went up.
Damn, you make it sound like they were giving you sticking the
No,
fingers in your
they
ass and all
didn't.
kind of stuff, wearing latex gloves.
Nobody stuck anything in my ass,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Not there, at least.
You know, no, not there. The after party.
Yeah, there you go.
No, but it was a crazy thing. We get up there, and what was neat was they had free popcorn and drinks for the entire thing. So it was
Oh,
literally.
well, I know you love that. You and Leon, y'all, you know what? You don't bring tubs of popcorn, and you bring like those plastic backyard swimming pool things of popcorn.
You know what?
like,
It's
God damn.
Leon's fault. He got me. For years, I had stopped getting popcorn at the movie theaters, and then he would sit down there with that tub. And he'd get the tub because he wanted to share. If you want some popcorn for a while, I was like, no, you know what? I'll just have a few pieces. And then it's like, eventually I've eaten all of his popcorn, and so I have to go get it to give him popcorn, and now it's a regular thing.
Oh
So,
yeah, now he got you addicted.
Yeah, so
It's like your dealer. So
but I saw the movie at the IMAX, so I saw it freaking huge.
yeah,
And it was.
I've driven by
beautiful
that
at the
theater
IMAX.
before. I'm not driven, but I've walked by that theater before, and I've never been inside that IMAX theater. But the Lincoln Center is huge.
It is. Oh my god! And it's so weird. What was neat about it? The thing that I actually really kind of dug was they've got one of those scrolling marquees that's got where things go across like
Yeah.
the old news things.
Yeah.
And it tells you the name of the film and then lists all of the main actors. And that's how they've got that scrolling for every film. And I thought that was kind of neat. I'm like, oh wow, that's a cool
Damn,
touch.
you'll be up there like 2 hours waiting to see when your movie's playing because they're
this-
listing every
well,
actor.
No, because that's not the Times. The Times, they have it another thing, but that's just advertising. Because when you're stuck in New York traffic, what do you got to read? So you'll read the whole entire freaking board. It was a cool ass premiere. I mean, there were a bunch of celebrities there that had nothing to do with the movie, and it was just the whole place was packed.
a lot of premieres are like that. You always see people showing up who haven't done shit in years.
Yeah. Oh, Mickey Dolenz was there.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Why would,
I have no idea. I just
the
walked out.
Monkeys?
I took my
Mickey Dolenz of the Monkeys.
I took my mother to this thing, and she's like, for the first half an hour, she's like, "Have you seen anyone famous yet? Have you seen anyone famous yet?" And it's like, "No, Mom. Trust. People are going to show up. They're not going to show up an hour in advance like we did. We got here so we could get our seats, and calm down." And I go out to get her a soda and come back, and she's like, "Have you seen anyone famous yet?" I'm like, "Well, actually, I just did." She's like, "Who'd you see?" I'm like, Mickey Dolenz. She's like, From the Monkees?
That's what I'm saying. From the Monkees. I thought he was dead.
No, apparently he's at the day the Earth stood still.
So did somebody kick him out?
No, I have no idea.
Can I see your credentials, please? But I'm from the Monkees. Get your ass on out of here.
But there were a
Mickey
bunch of cool
Dolenz,
people there.
man.
I was sitting, right
So you've
behind.
seen Will Smith, Jada Smith, and Mickey Dolenz.
There were a bunch of stars in the movie there. Keanu Reeves, John Hamm, Jennifer Connelly, who I didn't even see there. Who everyone's like, oh, I just ran into. I literally at the after party and in the theater never saw her.
Make it sound like Frank Stallone's brother showed up after. I mean, Sylvester Stallone's brother Frank showed up at the premiere. All kind of.
No.
So
No, it was a premiere. I mean, and it was a good movie. So a lot of people came out.
So do they have a section for the A-list people, and then they
No.
have like the section for the Mickey Dolenz crowd?
No, like quite literally, everybody was just sitting in together. I was sitting behind Will Smith and his family.
Did you thumb on the ears?
No, no. Actually, there was a moment where the inner Carlisle almost yelled something out because Will Smith is in person exactly how he is on screen. He's that guy. And just out of nowhere, everybody's sitting there, you hear, oh my God, it's Academy Award winning screenwriter of A Beautiful Mind, Akiva Goldsman. And Akiva Goldsman there is turning bright red, and it's Will Smith clowning on him. And everybody's kind of, giggling about it as he turns bright red. And the inner Carlisle wanted to say, wait, isn't that the guy who wrote Batman and Robin?
And then the whole theater would just stop and looked at you.
Well, and then,
Who are you?
Yeah, it would have been, who the fuck is this guy? And it's like, oh God, I'm going to embarrass my buddy. Shit, no. Calm down, quiet, hold it in. But yeah, no, it was interesting. Afterwards, Will Smith was joking about all the different pitches that they'd heard to make sequels of
Hancock?
No, of the various
I Am Legend?
And they were laughing about it because they're like, you're not going to believe these, because they were out there talking, and I was standing over by my buddy, and it was literally one of those things where we're waiting and we're all stuck behind this crowd around Will Smith, and so he's going off and telling, and it was kind of funny to hear him go off on that, but yeah, it was a weird time. And then we hopped in an SUV and went over to the after party, and it was a cool fucking after party. So
Damn, your trip sounds better than Leon's.
well, and I haven't even talked to Leon or heard about his trip, and that's just that night, because I got together with a couple Spilios.
Who did you see?
You know what? I'm forgetting the names. It was like.
Oh, that's nice, man. They hung out with you, and you can't remember their names.
It was like 3 years ago.
I remember Will Smith, but you can't remember these guys.
Well, yeah, I remember Will Smith. Come on.
Yeah, look at you, man.
Look at me. This was
stepping on the little man.
Technically, it was a week and a half ago, but keep in mind that I had that whole crazy ass trip because I only had a few hours that I hung out with some folks for like 2.5 hours, and then I literally went back to go off to this dinner, and my mom showed up in town, and then we had this whole.
You can't remember their names who you hung out with?
I can't remember a lot of things, dude. I just did Button-Umathon this weekend and hung out with 200 different people, and I can barely remember most of the names of the people I hung out with there. And that was more recently. I have a hard time keeping track of names to begin with, and it's just been a crazy week and a half. So no, but I will say that they're Spilios and they're fucking awesome. And if you hung out with me, you're cool fucking dudes. And
even though I don't know who you are,
no, I could,
you're cool, whoever you are.
I could pick them out of a lineup. The name is blanking on me. I cannot recall. You had to hit me with that. It's like shit. Yeah.
I wasn't trying to ambush you.
I know.
It
was a cool.
You make it sound like I came out of nowhere. How? Who are they?
No, it just came out of nowhere for me because it's like, why can't I remember their name? I mean, I'll be driving home and I'll be shit. That's their name, but that's too late.
Leon hung out with some people there too. Except he didn't. He went there because I told him, I said, man, you want to go to this junket to New York?
For Notorious.
Yeah, for Notorious, and he's like, yeah. So I'm thinking, all right, well, it's going to be like this. In my mind, his itinerary was. Leon's going to go to New York. He's going to touch down, go to a nice hotel, getting like a bubble bath. I'm looking at him with rollers in his hair, taking a bubble bath and with his toes in the water and everything. And then
okay, first of all, I want to know why your first thought about Leon involves him taking a bubble bath.
Oh, you haven't seen those pictures? I'll show them to you later. So I would picture him in his hotel room, taking a bubble bath with rollers in his hair, painting his nails and whatnot. And then I seen him like getting dressed up real snazzy, going out in the town, looking at stuff. The next day, getting to hang out with, talk to some famous people at a junket. I'm not like what you did, but sitting in there in a room doing an average junket, talking 1-on-1 with Angela Bassett. And
who?
Angela Bassett.
No.
Oh, come on, man! I love that woman. She's one of my fantasies. I'm gonna tell you about later. But she's and then him leaving the junket, hanging out with some spill people, going around the town again, getting some dinner, going back that night for one more night at the hotel, maybe bringing some people back and partying down, tearing up the room or something, and then the next day flying back with a great story to tell. The moment he got there, they got him off the bus. It's freezing. He gets off the plane. They get him on a bus to go. And he's like, well, what am I on this bus for? They put him on this bus to go through the Notorious B.I.G.'s neighborhood, because that's what the movie's about, the Notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls.
Yep.
So he's like, why the fuck are we going through this neighborhood?
Give it up to Biggie.
Yeah, exactly. Put a little look on the floor. But he's like going through this neighborhood, and he's like, okay, I haven't even had a chance to really rest yet, and I'm just looking at stuff. It's like, all right. So then he goes to, and it's all for that day, that Friday where he comes out. I thought it was going to be on a Saturday. So he goes to his what happened? He goes to back to the hotel to do the junket, and the junket is not a 101. The junket is
it's a round table.
It's sitting around, a round table. I never would have sent him had I known it would have been a round table.
Oh, most of these are round tables. Unless you're somebody big at a junket like that, they try to get you on round tables.
I've never done a round table, and they've tried to put me on a round table 3 times.
Yeah, and you always fight it, and you do it with local people who know they play a game called Let the Wookiee Win, and they're like, all right, let's just see if we can squeeze Corey in. But most of the time when you don't have a huge name behind you, you're on a round table.
There's no purpose for it. But and so he's there, and he's doing this round table thing, and he's just listening. He's like, I'm not interacting at all. I asked one question, and then it got rushed, and so he's like, well, shit. All right, well, that's a bust. So he says, well, at least I got the rest of the weekend to hang out. So he goes back to his hotel, and they tell him, sir, it seems like there's been a mistake. You are here for just one night. We're sending you back early tomorrow. And he's like,
wow. My God.
Oh. But fortunately, he got to hang out with one of the Spill members, Hardcore Suma. He tried to hook up with 2 other people.
Oh, Hardcore? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
she hates me.
I don't know. She hates you. She might dislike you very much, but she doesn't hate. Hates is a very powerful word.
She hates me.
But I don't think she hates you. But so he hangs out with her, and she actually took him around Times Square. She bought him some sushi, so that kind of took the dent out of things, and he had a good time. And
so he ate sushi?
He didn't eat her sushi now. I don't
know
what you're trying to talk
about.
I'm
not making a joke. No.
What you mean? I just saw you to come in and
that's not no. Well, yeah, but that's because it's like, wow, he ate sushi from Times Square. When I was there in New York, I went to the London, New York hotel and ate food cooked by Chef Gordon Ramsay. That was was surreal.
Well, he didn't have that. He had
no, he didn't have rainbow trout.
He had sushi cooked by Quoc Tan Trao or some shit like that.
Quoc Tan Trao, because that's not a racial stereotype at all.
That's not a racial stereotype. That's a name. I'm sure it exists.
Yeah, it is Brother Long Duck Dong and huge genitals.
Or maybe I just heard a spoon drop on the ground. Bing, dong, ding, ding. I don't know, man. But anyway,
racist.
I'm the yes. That's why I'm racist. But so he's eating sushi with Hardcore Suma. I mean, it's better than nothing. Yeah. So he got and then
they turned him around and flew him back early.
And they flew his ass right back. Like, get your ass on out of New York. I felt bad for him, man.
And Cyrus is doing the next one, right?
I don't know. I want to get him to do something. He's left behind doing nothing. You got to go to New York on this big junket.
Well, yeah. Oh, no. Mine wasn't a junket at all. That's
I'm not. Yeah. Well,
but that had nothing to do with this site.
No, it didn't. But you got to go.
So that counts, I guess. Yeah.
As far as him looking at everybody doing something, it does. I mean, he's looking back and he's thinking, shit, everybody is getting to go somewhere. I haven't gone anywhere yet. I haven't got to do a goddamn thing. And I remember when Leon, we used to do on the show, me and this other girl were flying all around different places, and Leon did not. Oh, this is what happened to him the last time he tried to go on a junket.
We should never send him again.
He's going to New York.
Did they at least show him the film?
Yeah.
Okay, so he did get to see the movie.
Yeah, he did get to see the movie.
Okay.
But he was going to go to New York one time to go to a Michael Douglas movie. And he got his ticket and everything. His itinerary is ready. They got a nice hotel booked up for him. I think he is staying the whole weekend on that trip. And he gets ready to fly out, and they're saying, there will be no more flights going out due to 9/11. It's just not meant for you to do these things, man. So I don't know, man. Cyrus, I think
Well, he's doing the next one. I mean, that you said that straight up. You were like, when you told Leon about it, you turned immediately to Cyrus. You said, don't worry, you're next.
What? Cyrus, he doesn't even like Stevie Wonder. I mean, what am I going to do sending him to go look at?
I'm not. Hey, yo. Don't come at me like I'm just.
I'm making a joke. I'm not yelling. I'm saying, but it's crazy. He's not going to want to go see anything about the Notorious B.I.G. He'd be sitting in the back of the bus, shivering and shaking with all these black people on there.
The beauty is he would keep asking about Notorious Big, and he's like, so who is this Notorious Big guy? Who is Big? I don't know Big.
Look up
is B-I-G. Yeah, Big.
And it was in
you can spell. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's B.I.G. motherfucker. You white motherfucker. But Leon even said it was a big ghetto junket, so it was all kind of messed up. A whole bunch of black people there.
Is that why Spill was invited?
Exactly. Yeah, the ghetto junket, man. Yeah,
because we're moving on up, moving on up.
We need some space to fill. Shit, tax write off. Yeah, get one of these guys from Spill to go. But I'm thinking Leon. I mean Cyrus. If Cyrus had gone on a bus with a bunch of people who like rap, a bunch of black people on the bus making noise, I'm thinking of him and as Waldo in that video, Hot for Teacher, in the back of the bus, shivering and shaking. Let me off. So the next big superhero, whatever comes up, if there's anything coming up soon,
next big superhero, it's got to be a superhero.
Yeah, come on, we're talking about Cyrus again. I was actually thinking he would be good to go to the New York Comic Con for his Leog, and because he has his laptop and everything. It's like, maybe you can go to that and just.
We should all go to New York Comic Con.
We can't afford. We can't all afford to go.
No, I know that.
Yeah, I mean, so
I'm just saying we should.
Well, hey, we're working towards that. Trying.
When is New York Comic Con?
February. So, and I think I can probably get him to go because it's not a hotel involved. Like, he'd be sleeping on the floor at my buddy Joel's place, which is where I always stay when I go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. People think when I say I'm going to New York, they think I'm going up there in some lavish hotel. I'm sleeping on a couch at my buddy's place in Brooklyn. I'm not living anything up. I mean, listening. It's all an open room. It's like there's no doors, so I'm listening to him snoring and farting all night. So nothing lavish here. Nothing.
It's not the New York Empire. I'll tell you that much.
It's not. We're not going there hanging out eating fucking Chef Gordon Ramsay's food and shit like that.
Oh, I had another weird thing happen. I had to go and ask a question, and sure enough, I go up and there's this beautiful blonde girl there. And I just walk up and I'm immediately, I turn on Carlisle, and of course she was instantly repulsed. But so I'm talking to her and I'm like, "Wow, you don't sound like you're from New York at all." And she's like, "No, I'm from Austin." And I'm like, I'm talking to the one girl in New York from Austin. There's probably not one, but the one person I sit there and start talking to.
Was she anybody famous from Austin?
She's from Austin. No, she's just a girl who moved up there to act.
Did you ask if she knew me? No, I'm kidding.
Well, she was white, so there was a good chance.
Hey, I'm just saying. And if she was like 55, there'd be a greater chance that she probably. Corey, he's a good man.
She was young.
Okay,
she was hot. That's what she was. She's listening to this now, going, "Oh wait, that was him." Doesn't look as good in person.
Nah, man. Well, it sounds like. I'm glad everybody got to go somewhere at least.
Except Cyrus.
Except Cyrus.
I'm glad all of us but Cyrus got to go somewhere.
No, he's gonna go. He's gonna go to the next.
He'll go somewhere. Yeah, no, I mean it was a fun trip. I mean, I definitely had a good time, and I flew JetBlue. I had never flown JetBlue before.
JetBlue is great, man.
Aren't they awesome?
JetBlue has the TVs, and that will keep you so occupied.
Oh God, that's the best part. It was like I was stuck on the ground for an hour, and I didn't care because I'm just like, I'm just gonna watch an episode of Las Vegas.
Oh man, I've never got hooked on Law and Order so much as watching it on JetBlue. For some reason, when I get on JetBlue, I got to have Law and Order.
And the thing is that they're always showing those Law and Order marathons because there's like 18 billion episodes. there's like 21 seasons of this shit, and they make 22 episodes a season. So there's literally like 400 episodes of this stuff. So of course they can have marathons. And Law and Order. The great thing about Law and Order is actually written so that you can come in at the halfway point. Mm-hmm. So the way they talk, they explain what's going on, even though they do it in a way to where it doesn't feel forced while you're watching it, but they catch anyone up who came in at the half-hour mark. So literally, you can pick up Law and Order anywhere and know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, no, I'm hooked, man. The moment I hear that dong dong, I'm like, that's it. Dong dong. Yeah, no, JetBlue. I mean, listen, JetBlue is almost like, well, I'm not going to compare it to first class, but I've never ridden first class. But I can only imagine that
It's not like first class.
Okay.
Having flown first class many times, it has nothing to
Well,
do.
I wouldn't say
nothing-
it's like flying first class, but it makes the time go by so much
does.
faster.
It
Having
does.
all those, see, on JetBlue people, what you have is I've ridden business class before, but not first class. But they have every TV. I mean, every seat has a TV in the back of it, so you're watching the back of the chair that's in front of you.
And they sell you headphones. They don't rent you headphones. It's $1.
Yeah.
You pay $1 and they give you a headphone.
They used to give them to you, but they couldn't afford to do
But
that
now they're
anymore.
$1.
Yeah.
And you can watch whatever movie you want. They have 3 different movies showing. They cost $5.
$5 a piece, yeah.
But you get to watch whatever, and you don't have to watch a movie. And like they had some decent movies on when I was flying up.
What was on when you were flying up? Because it would be the same time as I was going.
Pineapple Express, The House Bunny, and oh god, it was something else that I'd already seen that I didn't have interest in seeing again.
Well, yeah.
The House. I ended up watching The House Bunny because I hadn't seen it yet.
What'd you think about that?
It was cute.
I didn't think it was bad. I had
No,
fun watching it.
it's not a bad movie. It's a cute movie. I enjoyed it as much as you can. That story's been done 1,000,000,006 times. It's like, oh, we're gonna lose the frat house. Oh, look, here's a bizarre stranger who we wouldn't expect to be our new den father, or den mother, and here they are. And this time it just happens to be a Playboy playmate.
Yeah.
I do think you can make a fun drinking game out of taking a drink every time Anna Faris says the word sexy.
Really? I didn't notice.
Oh, she says it all the time. She's like, oh, it's a sexy car wash. Oh, we'll have a sexy party. Oh, don't you look sexy? She literally says sexy constantly.
That's a ditzy character in the movie doing that
Yeah,
shit. You
yeah.
know, yeah. And I didn't know Anna Faris was that fucking hot, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Those were fake breasts. That was the thing. And her hair was fake.
I knew her hair was fake because she's dark haired, but
Yeah, those are fake boobs.
oh,
too.
well,
I literally just watched the special features today. I had to write it up for a website.
oh,
And
so she.
it was one of those things where I paid $5 to watch it on the plane, and then I get back into
And you have it.
and then they email me going, "I just sent you House Bunny, so you'll have House Bunny tomorrow." It's like,
Oh,
great! I just
awesome,
paid
man.
$5 for that. That's
watch
that's
it for
swell.
free. So those were fake breasts, huh?
Yeah,
I would fuck her, man. She
not
was
like
hot.
fake, as in like they
Like
used-
no, I know, like
yeah,
they
added into the clothes.
into like a costume. Yeah,
no,
the
she's
hell with
she's
that.
small chested. But everything that I know people who are friends of hers or have worked with her in the past, and everybody says the same thing. She's not. That sunny disposition is exactly how she is. She's like literally one of those super sweet girls who is just light and airy and fun to be around and is just a pleasure to know.
Oh, so she's easy. Oh, maybe I do like
That I don't know. That I've never talked to anybody who's claimed to have slept with her, but
Knock that shit out.
but she's cute. Yeah, no, I've always thought she was cute. She's the only thing that kept their Scary Movie franchise alive.
Well, she was the only one who needed to work at the time. Probably.
This
I was like-
is also true.
she
What
like,
was
huh?
interesting to note, going back to that conversation, is that she actually came up with the idea for the House Bunny.
She did.
That was her. She's an executive producer on it because she was sitting around and said, I wonder what happens to Playboy bunnies when they're not bunnies anymore. You know, and she thought, you know what, there's a good movie in that. And I think they built what would a house bunny be good at? Well, being house mom at a sorority, I guess. And
Yeah, no.
one thing led to another.
Yeah, and I do remember her name being on the credits as one of the producers.
Yeah, it was all her idea, which
Yeah,
I thought was cool. I mean, it's always neat when somebody comes up with a character and says, I want to build a movie around it. And it was cute. And if you
Yeah.
recall, it was that kind of surprise this summer because everyone's like, oh, the House Bunny, what's that going to do?
Well,
And
it was
took
number one.
2.
No, when it first came up, it was I think it was
it was
number
number 2.
Was it number 2?
It was number 2 behind The Dark Knight.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because the
But
Dark Knight.
it was the number 1 movie of the week that wasn't The Dark
It's like
Knight.
if you were number 2, you might as well have been number 1
was-
because nobody was getting Dark
It's
Knight
like-
out the way.
It was like back in the 90s when the Harry Potter books were still on the top 10 before they made the children's top 10, which they made because of Harry Potter. The children's top 10 list happened because the Harry Potter books existed. And 3 of the slots always went to a Harry Potter book every week. So things that would normally get in the top 10 and be a New York Times bestseller were getting what was called pottered. And so they created a whole separate list. So it got Dark Knighted. and it made like 15 million its opening
Man,
weekend.
that don't sound right. Pottered. That sounds like something sexual. Sound like something like
Everything sounds something
I know, it
sexual
sound like-
because you do old women named Potter.
Oh, no,
you have a Beatrice Potter obsession.
sound like
You like
something-
little rabbits.
Sound like something that somebody does to your ass in the back of an alley somewhere. You got
That's
potted.
pootered.
Sound
That's
like
pootered.
Sound like something you got in jail. You potter that motherfucker.
No,
man.
you're thinking pooter because there are three parts of a woman: the
Okay, I don't wanna
hooter,
hear
the
that.
cooter, and the
Okay,
pooter.
Oh man, I don't need to hear that. That's just no. That's just nasty. Please don't talk.
Oh yeah, because getting pootered in jail.
Please don't
is,
talk that way about women's genitals like that. I hold them like holy to myself.
You like the holes actually.
All right, man. All right.
All right. So how are we doing on time?
Well, we're about 30 minutes here, and I'm going to talk about London on the other show because I could go on all week about that shit.
So you're gonna go on the other show where you do it for like 2.5 hours and talk for all week.
No, I'm not going to talk for 2.5 hours about it. It's just. I mean, it's a whole other. That's another 30 minutes or something where we can go. I mean, just a rundown real quick. I mean, I had a miserable time when I first got there, but when the party finally came around, because
When,
I was
when
at
50-year-old women started showing up.
no 50-year-old women. It was all young people who were there. I was surprised. It was, and a lot of people thought that because I came on the site and when I did the review, because when I got there, I couldn't find any internet. I was walking the street pretty much homeless because when I got there,
Homeless.
Yeah, man, I had my bags with me.
Boom, boom. Moonlight picking on the midnight lake.
I'm taking-
homeless.
Man, that was my soundtrack. I had my bags in my hand. I'm walking around, and
What is that band called again?
I don't even know that song, man. I thought that was a song you made up.
Oh no! It was that African band that they did a thing on SNL about them. It was the all
The ones that sung behind Paul Simon.
yes
the ones that go.
yes them.
The African band, I think.
Yeah,
is what they call
yeah. In fact, the homeless was one that they did with Paul Simon. Homeless, doo-doo, moonlight picking on the midnight lake. 'Cause they're the homeless, boom, boom, homeless.
You look like you should be in blackface when you do that. Don't do that song. You look like you should.
Why would I have to? Why can't I just sing a
it's-
song that
it's
I
the way
like?
you
What's
sing
wrong
it.
with that?
It's the way you
Because
sing it.
it's just one of those.
It makes me think you picking cotton or something when you sing it like that. I don't know.
Oh lordy, Corey! Can I sing my homeless song
Exactly.
again? That'd be real good, massa.
Exactly. They have
I'll pick
fried
up
chicken.
minute peanuts at the circus for you, massa.
But man, I'm walking around and I have my bags with me, and I don't have any. What happened was when I got there, my ATM wasn't working. I didn't get any cash.
you didn't take any cash
transferred.
with you?
No, I didn't get any cash transferred, and I couldn't. Since I didn't have internet, I mean, it's a long story why I didn't have internet, but it led to me taking the international service off my phone because I was pissed about the mix-up. So, because I was about to get ripped off majorly. So, I don't have any communication, so I can't get a hold of my cousin. I can't use any phones because I don't have any money, and my credit card's not working.
I love how well you plan these things out in advance.
Man, what it was planned. It all hinged on me having a phone and internet, and when that was gone, everything else was gone. And the reason why my card wasn't working is because my bank, I like that they do this, but when you get over there overseas, they put a restriction on it. And they've done this before. I just forgot. So you have to call in and ask them to remove that. So I pretty much, after freezing my ass off walking around, not being able to get a hold of anyone, I had to walk into internet cafe / 24-hour cab service, and I had to tell the guy at the front desk. I was just like,
What?
They have those everywhere there, man. And so in London. So I don't know about the rest of the UK, but there. So I went in. I just said, "Please, sir," I was like Oliver Twist. "Please, sir, please, can I take your internet cord and plug it into my computer so I can call my bank, get the restriction removed, get some money from the ATM, and then
Wait,
come back and get
you
a
were
fucking
so
cab
cheap
from
that you had to use Skype to call your bank?
What do you mean cheap? Didn't have any money. Didn't have anything to do. Shit, what do you mean? It wasn't cheap. I was penniless. I didn't have shit on me, man. I had money. I just couldn't get to it. And I had a whole lot of American dollars in my pocket. So, and I tried to use that as a strip joint already. So then it didn't work. But
I love how you went to you left out the part where you went to a strip joint before you go to the
no,
internet
I didn't go to
cafe to
strip
get
joint.
everything solved.
Will you take these American dollars in your ass? Get out of here. No, it was. So,
Hey, right now, with the way the pound is, they'll take your dollars.
The pound is still not that. I mean, the dollar's still not that strong. Right
Dollar's
now.
not strong. The pound is weak.
Yeah,
it's
pound
like
has
a
gotten
dollar.
weaker.
It's like £1.50 to
Yeah.
$1, and it used to, like a year ago, it was £2.
Yeah, no,
I've been
it's-
buying lots of stuff.
No,
in
it is.
England.
It's $1.50 now. Yeah, but it's still. I mean, that's still pretty much twice as much. So,
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it's still a little more expensive. But so the guy said, yeah, go ahead and plug it in, and I was able to once I set that in motion, I was able to call my cousin, get to where I needed to go. But then that meant I had to like go and pretty much spend the night at an internet cafe because I didn't have any mobile internet like I had planned to have because AT&T was gonna fucking rip me off. Listen to this, man. This is crazy. I set up an international internet mobile plan to go over to London. Now they tell you at first, they say, yeah, sure, we can set that all up for you. Everything will be fine. You'll be able to get it overseas. You won't have unlimited usage, but you'll be able to use it. And I get there. And I found out the rates in the airport before I even get on because they messed up something. I said, it's not working. They're like, oh, okay, so this is the plan you signed up for. And I said, what was the plan? 100 megabytes of data transfer for about $150. I'm like, so wait a minute. If I go on iTunes and download 2 songs, I'm pretty much done.
No,
and they're like,
no. That's not iTunes and 2 songs. 100 megabyte transfer is going to a couple dozen websites.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
You know, you watch one trailer in HD and you're done. That's it.
And that's what they told me. I mean, I would just like, because they said, and after that,
it was 100 gigabytes for 150. That's an international plan. But 100 megs, suck my left nut. AT&T.
That's what I said. I mean, I was just using the internet, the iTunes thing as an example. And they said, if one of them's 50 and the other's 50, yeah, you're pretty much done. But you can keep going, but there'll be a charge after that. And I'm like, well, what's the charge? It'll be $5 a megabyte. I'm like, are you at your fucking mind? I said, you realize this makes no fucking sense whatsoever. And he's like, I know, but there's nothing I can do about it. I was like, oh, give me a fucking break, man. So
there's websites you couldn't even go to. Jesus.
Yeah, that's why I just said,
you couldn't go to our site. Our site would kill. You went to Spill. If you went to check your mail, you would have spent.
I just like, yeah. I said, just fucking.
We're not worth $150.
And the guy even told me, he's like, yeah, if you use it as much as you say you do, you'll be looking at thousands of dollars before the end of the trip. I'm like, so it'll be worth me getting on the internet is going to be worth more than this whole fucking trip. I was like, man, you got your fucking mic. I said, get rid of the whole thing. I said, I don't even want to talk to you right now. Just get rid of everything. And then days later, so I'm running around the street like trying to work. So I have to like do pretty much hike like miles down the road to get to internet cafe, take taxis everywhere. There was one night I had to actually rent a hotel and stay there, even though I'm staying with my cousin because he doesn't have internet. He tells me, he's like, I said, man, he said, you can't use my internet. I was like, well, it's not wireless. And even when I do get on your computer, it's too slow. And he tells me, that's right. Wires and slow is better because the government can't come to you. And I was like, oh, give me, the government's going to, if you're on the internet, they can look at you, okay? I was like, you might as well go wireless.
Wow, your cousin's crazy.
Yeah, he did not want to do that. So I said,
was he wearing a tinfoil hat to protect himself from mind invasion as well? Jesus Christ.
No, but we were in his bomb shelter. Yeah, it's like he's very paranoid.
Slow is
man.
Good. No,
yeah,
it's not.
No, he's extremely paranoid. So I said, you know what, dude, I got to go down the street to a hotel. I said, I can't stay here like this and keep hiking back and forth, paying money for cars and whatnot. So I stayed at a hotel one night doing that shit. It was a miserable trip the first couple of days, and then the party came around. The Spill party in London, about 20 and something odd people came out, going in and out. And it was a lot of fun. It was those guys are really nice people over there, man. I can't thank them enough for doing that. Nick Hodges is the guy that put the whole thing together. So I was like, wow, I'm amazed that you did this. It was a little bit too early because we started drinking at 3 and they wanted to go all the way till 2 a.m. I was sitting up there talking to one. They
are British.
Yeah. I was sitting up there talking to one guy, and I was falling asleep. And he's like, oh, yeah, man, you're falling asleep. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was like, well, shit, it's like 1:30 already, man. He's like, no, it's 9:30. I was like, oh, fuck this. I gotta get out of here. So I kind of disappeared.
So did my girl show up, Sinead?
Yeah. Wait a minute. No, she did not. No, not her. Chantel, a girl named Chantel showed up.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Who's an incredible artist. By the time I started talking to her, I was probably drunk and tired, so I probably made no sense and scared her away. But she
when you're drunk and tired, you scare everyone away.
Yeah. So no telling what.
Give me a chair. I gotta throw it.
That's the only. Every chair was bolted down, fortunately, so I wasn't able to throw anything.
Thank God. People didn't get hurt.
A lot of people thought that I had, because I was talking about, because in the review I said I got for the day the Earth stood still. I mentioned that I was having a terrible 24 hours because I was trying to finish that review, and that all had to do with me having to go through all that trouble. Everybody thought like the party was terrible. And it's like, no, not at all. Those guys are number one guys, man. So that's the gist of my trip right there. It was a lot of fun. What can I tell you?
Yeah. Speaking of that, actually, for those of you who want to plan ahead, I'll be talking about this more. I got invited as what's called a nifty guest for a con up in Michigan called PenguaCon.
What?
PenguaCon.
I thought you said Penguin Con. I was like, wait.
No, it's PenguaCon, as in penguin, but PenguaCon.
Okay, so what do you
Penguin
do?
with a CO in the middle.
Do you have to dress up like a penguin? Or
No,
something?
no. It's just it's a cool looking. It's a convention that grew out of. It started out as a bunch of Linux loving people who program in Linux, and it merged with a science fiction convention, and now it's
Is this the one you always go to?
No, that's Convergence, and I'll be going to Convergence this July, and Convergence is up in Minneapolis.
PenguaCon. I thought that was like people who hated Happy Feet.
No, that would be a really great convention because it'd be full of crazy fucking Republicans and me. That would be fun. Burn the heretic. But no, I'll be so beginning of May 1st through 3rd, I will be it looks like, I mean, unless something changes, I'm going to be a nifty guest up at this PenguaCon, and I'll be doing some panels there and hanging out and drinking with folks. And up at Convergence, I will also be on some panels. I'm not a guest, but I know folks there, and they asked me to be on some panels, so I'll be in some panels and be heavily drinking.
What kind of panels are they?
Oh, it's the type you would love it. I mean, it's literally like a panel I did last year was the best and worst movies of 2007 and 2008. That's one I did earlier this year where we just sat around for an hour and it was four of us talking as you and I are talking now with a topic. It's literally just you're sitting there with people who are all supposedly specialists in their field of one thing or another, and you just sit around and shoot the shit and talk to an audience.
Oh, nice.
So
Very
it's like a live podcast.
Oh, okay.
But so that's I'll be doing those in Michigan and in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So
maybe I'll go there.
So if you guys out there like, I know several of you are like, why don't you guys ever come to Michigan? Well, guess what? I'm coming to Michigan. So
yeah, I ain't going to Michigan.
You're not going. I used to live in Michigan. I love Michigan. Beautiful.
You can be
country.
the ambassador for Michigan.
I will be the Michigan ambassador.
If it's not if it's not a major city, a thriving metropolitan place like L.A., New York, or London, I'm not going.
Dude, I have Michigan LP all
Georgia.
the way.
Really? You go.
LP,
you go
baby.
You
Lower
represent.
Peninsula.
You represent then.
I represent the LP, baby.
Oh, I'm not trying to interrupt your story.
No, there's no story here.
I just want to say this before I forgot that I knew there was something major that happened, and I'm glad I get to bring this out in the open. So, man, we went to two bars for the Spill Party in London. At the second one, this kid brings me out, and I'm not going to say his name, but he brings me outside and he says, "Hey, man, look, I was having a hard time. I broke up with my girlfriend. I was really depressed and just school and everything is just getting to me. And you guys really like helped me through these things. And I just want to just pay you back for that." And zip, no, he didn't.
See, actually, this is when you started telling this story. I was fearful that a blowjob is how it ends.
So I just wanted to like give this back, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So he gives me an envelope, and he says, "Hey, thanks for everything, man." Gives me a hug, and he said, "I'm gonna miss you, man. Hope we can like hang again." And I'm like, "All right, man." So he goes off into the snowy night, and then I go in, and I open the envelope. It's 100 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
And people are looking at me like, where the fuck you get that? And I'm like, because it's in the envelope. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like,
selling drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the story does have a blowjob in there that you're not talking about.
Yeah, you think I came here to see you guys? Hell no. I came here because I've got business. No, so I look at it and I was like, yeah. And I say the name of the kid. I'm like, yeah, he gave it to me. And they're like, "Kid 16, man. You gonna take that from that kid?" I'm like, no, he's gone. I was like, I'll go look for him, and I went out, and sure enough, he was gone.
What the hell did a 16-year-old kid?
That's what I'm wondering. I was like, did he take this from his mom's purse? And if he didn't, now I'm thinking the worst. I'm like thinking, okay, he did whatever he had to do to get this money. But I'm thinking this kid must have like a minimum wage job, and he saved up this money, and it's not worth him like giving it away. He should keep it for himself. So I'm not gonna say his name. If you're listening, man, you know who you are. That was the nicest thing anybody could have done for me over there. But I'm going to try and give your money back to you as soon as I can track you down and spend it all and have an excuse for not giving it back to me.
Yeah, because one thing you're good at is getting money to people who you owe it
right.
to.
I pay it forward in one way or another. I did buy a round of drinks for everybody in the bar with that money. at the time.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You know what I love? My favorite part of tonight is the fact that you said you were going to talk about all your London stuff in another podcast.
Well, I thought about how, because I didn't know how I was going to sum it up because a lot of shit happened, and I was trying to.
Oh,
think,
like I haven't. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened to me in L.A. I haven't even talked
exactly.
about, so.
I mean, I can't tell you like how great the trip was afterwards when I went like just walking around and buying cool shit and whatnot. Yeah, I was trying to get my mind like how can I edit this and keep it short, and that's what I did. I was going through the highlights. I mean, you know how it is. You were there for a weekend in New York. You were having a good time.
My highlight was my mom getting hammered at the after party.
Oh shit! I wish I was there.
My mom, yeah. Oh,
hey, you know,
she's 50, 52,
exactly.
So she
got a nice couch back at my friend's place
looks
in Brooklyn.
like me without the beard. It's great.
Excellent. I was like always wondering.
That's right. No, it was really funny because she drank a lot of drank a lot of liquid courage and then went around talking to everyone famous. It was a thing of beauty.
And somebody came up, Carla, could you get your mom?
No, actually, no. She was being cool, and everyone was super cool to her. Everyone was really nice to her, especially Kathy Bates, apparently.
Oh, really?
Who also I didn't see there, but who my mom went up and talked to. And
How can you miss Kathy Bates?
Because it was a big party.
Kathy Bates' big ass. How can you miss her?
You know who I was standing next to who freaked me the hell out?
Who?
Tom Rothman.
Tom Rothman. Who the fuck is
We've talked about him many times. He's the head of Fox.
The head of Fox. I was about to say that.
The guy who we've talked about constantly. I'm standing there and I'm talking to a couple of executives. We're all standing in a circle talking. And like, he keeps looking at me like, trying to figure out who I am. And I'm desperately trying to avoid letting him know who the hell I am.
Yeah, because he would have had like somebody come in and kill you, man. Like had stormtroopers come in. Motherfucker.
When Fox found out I was going, I wasn't going for Ain't It Cool News.
They told you not to go, right?
They called my buddy and said, you can't bring him out. Why not? Well, we found out who he was. He's with Ain't It Cool News. It's like, yeah, and he's not coming out to review. Yeah, well, here's the ground rules. And they laid a bunch of ground rules for me to go. So,
and one of them is that you'd have to say the movie is really, really good.
No. Actually, what it was I wasn't allowed to review it early at all. That was, I couldn't write an early review. Or if I worked it out with them, I could write an early positive review if I ran it by them first. And I was just like, well, fuck that. I'll just post my review on Friday.
Damn.
One way or the other. So, and fortunately, I ended up really enjoying the movie. So.
Well, I'm glad you had a good trip. I'm glad Martin's trip didn't go too sour. He got something good in there. I'm glad my trip worked out fine, then.
And I'm glad Cyrus stayed at home.
he's
say it. You know that's what you were thinking.
No, man. I'm thinking, like, what can we do for him? I'm gonna send him somewhere.
I say we buy him a girl.
Let's
get him a girl for the night.
Send him to Mexico.
Let's send him to a Mexican junket. What happened to Cyrus? He was my favorite member of the Spill crew. Yeah, we lost him in Mexico.
Yeah. Did Cyrus come back? No, but his ear did.
Yeah. They keep sending us body parts. We don't know why. It's like, dude, just either send the whole thing or kill him already.
Yeah,
we don't have money.
We're not paying for that shit. What are you talking about?
Dude, do you know how much they pay us? Not enough to pay for Cyrus.
In fact, that'll help our budget if you keep him over there.
That's right. Look, we're profitable now. Congratulations.
Sell him into prostitution or something. He'll make his money back.
Oh,
the right guy. So, well, we're going to read an email real quick.
Let's read an email real quick.
All right.
And you know the ground rules.
Man, if you were still asking Dark Knight shit, at this point, whether it did come out on Blu-ray.
Now, see, the thing is this week, actually, there are some things to ask about.
Yeah, if there was anything at any time.
There's Dark Knight stuff. There's new Dark Knight news. Dark Knight is making, it's considered one of the 3 films to beat this year because it's making, hell, we here in Austin gave it the Best Picture Award.
Did we? I didn't even
Did
see
you not
list.
read the...
Man, I haven't been able to catch up with anything.
Check the site. You voted, right?
No, I couldn't even vote because I couldn't communicate with anybody because my fucking phone was down.
Vote. Oh my God.
I was gone.
Don't admit that publicly.
Oh
no,
shit.
No. Yeah, we our Best Picture was Dark Knight got 5 awards from us.
Really?
Apparently Leon voted like 20 times. Is my guess.
He went around erasing people's ballots,
the only
sneaking in people's windows at night, writing in Dark Knight.
The one that caught me off guard was Best Original Screenplay went to Synecdoche, New York. Or Schenectady, New York, or however they.
Oh, fuck that, pronounced. Man! That actually had a screenplay.
Yeah, apparently, and that we gave it the Best Screenplay award. But Heath Ledger got Best Supporting. Best original screenplay went to Dark Knight. Best score, I believe, went to Dark Knight. And now I'm forgetting what else went. Something else went to Dark Knight, and it wasn't best director, I don't think.
Best cinematography?
No, because this was the one I was so proud of. Best cinematography went to
Iron Man.
No, to The Fall.
Oh, really?
Tarsem's film. Yeah, no, enough of us.
I gotta see that movie, man.
I was campaigning for that, and a lot of people went for it. It was so we ended up getting that, and Best Actress went to Anne Hathaway, which makes me so proud because she was so great.
Yeah.
God, I'm blanking on who got Best Actor, but it wasn't.
Yeah, see, man, I'm just
It wasn't who I was pulling for. I was pulling for Frank Langella, and it went to somebody else.
I haven't yet. Thank you for telling me all this.
I posted a blog about it on the site, so you can go and see the entire list. If you have not seen our list yet. Now, the thing is that we're a member of the Austin Film Critic Association. There's a bunch of different people. Harry Knowles and Quint from Ain't It Cool News are on there as well. A bunch of our local critics like Mark Savlov.
Marjorie Baumgarten.
As well as a couple others. Chris Garcia's on there. There's a guy from film.com on there. There's a lot of different guys. So.
It's good, and I wish I could have been more of a participant this year. I mean, I was last year.
And don't forget Colin Bobby of colinbobby.com.
Oh, well, we got to give thanks to them for pulling this thing together.
Yeah.
Because they've done an amazing job.
Oh, my God, did they. The stack of screeners we have
I got Benjamin insane. Buttons today.
Today? I've had that. Yeah, I got that earlier
Well, that's what I was getting before you came over when I was gone for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's literally I looked at it and I said, wow, I'm milk short of having all the best films of this year on DVD already.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
No, it's crazy. I mean, I'm not going to have time to watch them, but yeah, man, I've been out the loop since I came back. The moment I got off the plane and got here, it was straight to work. The reason why I was so out of it when we started is because I had just finished like putting up everything. My box is full, as a matter of fact.
That's how I am right now. I mean, I literally, because BNAT was this past week, and I'm going to do a special thing on BNAT with you here in a moment, and we'll have that up here shortly. But which is Button-Umathon. But I literally, flew. You knew when I flew out to New York. I flew out Monday morning of last week.
Yeah.
I fly back in town. I get in at 2:30
a.m.
No, in the afternoon. I get in my home at 2:30 in the afternoon. I sit down, and I'm there for 5 minutes, and the phone rings. And I'm like, hello? And it's like, hey, dude, it's me. I'm at the airport. Can you come and pick me up? And it's like, oh, crap, you're here. I thought you were getting in a few hours.
Oh,
He's like, no, I ended up, I caught an early flight. And so one of my friends, so literally I'm home, and half an hour later, I've got a friend at my house. And then it was all of that until Tuesday afternoon. It was all Button-Umathon people and Button-Umathon. Yeah. Then starting Tuesday night, I've been writing ever since. And I've written some 25, 30 pieces this past week.
Yeah.
And my mind is gone, which is why I can't remember names or anything.
Yeah. No, I'm same here, man. I mean, I had to catch up so much on the site because it got behind because I didn't have any internet. So it was just a lot of shit to take care of.
Did you get to see my blog about the new Mr. T comic book?
Man, I haven't seen anything. I haven't had a chance to read shit. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and catch up on everything tonight. I mean, tonight is it. Like, after we're done, I'm taking tomorrow all day.
The Mr. T comic book post is probably my favorite recently, simply because it's just, I get all these weird, bizarre, strange press releases in the mail.
Yeah.
And occasionally I like to put them up when I find a good one. And this one, literally, swear to God, this is how it starts off. It's, now that we've elected a black president, America is hungry for a new black hero, which is why we've got the Mr. T comic book.
Well, see, a Mr. T comic book is pretty tame compared to what he had. I mean, he had a cereal, a cartoon who in the cartoon he had a dog with a haircut like his. How a dog does it, I don't know.
Mind that there's a Mr. T comic book. I mind that like the opening of the press release is trying to say that because Obama got elected president, America desires a new black superhero comic book starring Mr. T.
Return of T. And look at what I got here. What I got right here. Look at that. What am I holding?
I don't know. What is that?
You were talking about a Mr. T comic book, and the recording cut off before I had a chance to pull up my Mr. T bobblehead right here that's been sitting with us the whole time we've been recording. Yeah, we cut out with you calling my Mr. T a dildo.
Yeah, he's a dildo.
I'm gonna say what I said before it cut off. Don't be calling me no dildo. I don't put my head in no woman's coochie. Fool. No, I said we said it was gonna be a short show, and it ended up being over an hour.
No, the next one will be short.
All right, I lost my question.
Well, find it, God damn it! I want to answer this question and move on to the next recording.
Where's my question?
I have no idea.
Are you sitting on it?
I am not sitting on your goddamn question.
All right. Oh, here we go. All right, I'm going to start out this with something that you hate to do, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Uh-oh.
First
I love
off,
you guys.
Exactly.
You guys are awesome, and I want to suck your cock for being an awesome website.
Weapon X. He says, first off, let me say that I am a new member, and I absolutely love the site and the work that you guys put into it. The podcasts keep me entertained, and I absolutely love them. But on to my question. I'm a big music person, and I wanted to know, what is your favorite movie soundtrack? Classical score or soundtrack? And he says, thanks so much, from Weapon X. I can tell you one of my favorite scores in a movie that I went out and even got the soundtrack. It is from Unbreakable.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why, but I really love the soundtrack to that. And I love, there's a whole collection of soundtracks from, I forgot, God damn it. Now I'm blanking. And this is a name that I could just bring up off the top of my head, matter
Xanadu.
what. There you go. Xanadu.
Actually, the thing is, you know what? Leon and Cyrus love the Xanadu soundtrack. They're huge ELO fans.
Are you kidding?
Dude, it's all the music's done by ELO.
But even some of that shit is not. I mean, I don't know.
Don't come at me about that. Talk to Leon and Cyrus. They will
talk with them.
I've seen Cyrus perform "Turn to Stone." Is that what it's called? It wasn't pretty.
Oh man, who is the guy that did the soundtrack for Midnight Cowboy and Dances with Wolves and
I forget. I'm not good at soundtracks.
But I wish I wish I could remember this guy's name. But anyway, there's a whole collection of his soundtracks, and I love that music. And he hasn't done anything too much recently, but I think that can maybe one or two modern films that were done in the past 5 years. But if I can remember his name, and I'll look it up in a little bit. But his music is some of my favorite. He's my favorite composer in Hollywood. The guy who did the Dances with Wolves soundtrack and Midnight Cowboy, Midnight Cowboy and all that. So, how about you?
I know one of your others. You're a big fan of Wattstax.
Oh, I am a huge fan of Wattstax.
I know you are. That's what I'm saying. And I know that you were a huge fan of the soundtrack to that film.
Okay. See, when he said, I guess I was stuck on score, but when he says, one of the best soundtracks out there, Wattstax is great, and another soundtrack that I think is really great is the soundtrack to The Crow. So.
See, and that was mine. The soundtrack to The Crow is my favorite soundtrack of all time. That was like the one that came out, and it's like, you know what? We can have really awesome alternative bands do really cool music, and that soundtrack is just killer.
Yeah, even the soundtrack to the second movie is good.
Well, no, it's all right, and it's far better than the movie was.
Oh, that movie was terrible, man.
Yeah.
But well, go ahead and answer the question. Composer. Score and soundtrack.
Well, soundtrack is definitely, it's straight up. It's The Crow. I love The Crow. I think that's a great soundtrack to a movie. Score, God, I mean, I hate to be a cliche, but John Williams' soundtrack to Empire Strikes Back, is just incredible. Vader's Imperial March. All the classic themes from Star Wars. Did I say Star Trek? Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, why John Williams from Star Wars. And Facepalm. There we go. So that would probably be my favorite score. Although, God, I'm trying to think of recent scores. I'm not a big score fan. I think other great scores. I love the one to Usual Suspects. Usual Suspects is really good, and then American Beauty is pretty awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and also, while I'm at it, Gladiator's got an incredible score.
Really?
Yeah.
And The Crow is your favorite music?
But The Crow is my favorite soundtrack to a movie. It's just awesome.
You know what's so good about the soundtrack to The Crow is that it actually tells tells a story. If you listen to the music, they've actually, I don't know if it's by accident or whatever, but you can actually hear that story being told through the songs.
No, it was a brilliant concept album. I love the hell out of it.
Yeah, no, it stands out today as one of the best soundtracks out there. John Barry is the guy who did the soundtrack for Midnight Cowboy and Dances with Wolves and In Her Majesty's Secret Service, a James Bond movie. I mean, he did a lot of stuff. And there's a whole compilation of his music. If you like movie scores, you'll love this soundtrack. You should check it out. And for people who don't know, I meant to tell them about Wattstax. Wattstax is a movie by Mel Stewart, a guy who he did a documentary about the music festival in the black community of Watts. in Los Angeles, and it was a big, crazy festival, and it had a lot of names like the Staple Sisters, and the big draw there was Isaac Hayes coming out with those fucking chains on.
Yeah,
that's
Truck Turner. Tell him you got hit by a truck.
Yeah, tell him you got. Yeah, man. That you've seen Watt Stacks, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great documentary, man. People always talk about Woodstock, which is a great documentary too.
Which is.
But no, don't get me wrong, but Watt Stacks is right up there.
Watt Stacks is the Black Woodstock.
It
They
is.
just changed the name a little. It's like, well, they have Woodstock. We're going to have
Watt
Watt Stacks. Yeah. Woodstacks. Watt Stacks. That's it. Yeah. It'll be cool.
Yeah, man, that's a badass movie. Richard Pryor is in it. He's telling jokes in between, and it's a really cool ass movie, man, and it's a great soundtrack.
I remember when they reissued that, you and Leon lost your minds.
Because
you got to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, because I'd seen I hadn't seen it, but my mother talked about that movie before. And I don't know where she saw it, but and I was like, oh, this sounds cool. And I've seen stuff from it before, but I hadn't seen the movie. And I saw the movie, and I was like, oh, this is a dream come true for me. And so, anyway, that's it, man.
All right,
that's our short show.
That's all you get, people. That's it.
That's right. That should last you for the weekend until Sunday.
Until Sunday, till 48 hours from now, and we do it again.
And we'll do it all over again.
God damn it.
Damn, I mean, thank you. You woke me up because I was so tired at the beginning. I was like, fuck, man, I don't know if I'm going to last.
See, now I'm tired. I'm just like, fuck, we got to record again? Jesus.
I soaked your energy up.
You sucked it right out of me is what you did. You sucked the life giver
right out of me. We're not going to tell how I did that, though.
No,
so anyway, until Sunday.
He's touching me. Help.
Who's touching you, fool? Mr. T right here. Put my hand on one's coochie.
I don't think it's.
You know, like, you're still not doing anything for you? Still not doing anything for you? Damn, all right. It's time for us to get out of here. If Mr. T can't make you laugh.
Mr. T cannot make me laugh.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. All right. So, as a bonus here, to give the people some stuff.
Is this where I walk in, where some girl walks in and we go, hey, bonus?
No, not that. Not yet, at least.
No?
Not for you. Maybe for me after you leave. But
after I leave?
Unless you want to put on this skirt right here. But no,
yeah.
So we got to shave too. But you rather, went to BNAT, known as Butt-Numb-a-thon.
Butt-Numb-a-thon. Butt-Numb-a-thon is, for those of you who are not familiar, the birthday party thrown by a friend of mine, Harry Knowles, who is the owner and operator and founder of Ain't It Cool News. And he's also my employer. But he's a good friend of mine, and he invites me to his birthday party every year, which is 24 hours of nonstop film. And this year was a little different. Normally, I would just see a bunch of really great films, and occasionally they do a presentation or two. This year, we had 10 different presentations. We saw footage from a bunch of this year's big films. And there was some crazy stuff in there. And I thought, hey, you know what? We'll sit down, me and you, we'll talk about this stuff that's coming out anywhere between 2 and 6 months from now.
Now, let me ask you something. Why? It sounds like there was some cool stuff going on, but why did they end that shit with Che?
As far as I know, what happened was...
It's a 4-hour movie.
Well, what happened was we had a last-minute drop. There was a film that was going to play that pulled out a week and a half in advance. And because of that, he ended up with this big hole in the schedule. And Che was something he was thinking about playing, and it was one of those things where that was the only place it would fit because there were presentations that were happening with other filmmakers and things coming in, and nothing fit except the very end. And that was what was rough, was the fact that Che, this 4-hour...
After 24 hours of people sitting there, I guess at that point it was like 20 hours.
It was 20 hours, but we'd all been up for like 24 hours.
Okay.
Like I woke up at 8:30 on Saturday morning, and here I am at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning, haven't slept yet, and they're like, and now we're going to show the complete, unedited, 4-hour Steven Soderbergh film, Che. And have you seen that film yet?
I have the screener. I don't know about that, man.
Oh, wow. Wait till you sit down to watch it.
If I watch it. I'll watch it.
I think it's the art house version of Lord of the Rings. It is, walking through the jungle for 4 hours.
Come on, man. Just come right out and say it's borderline bullshit.
I don't know. The thing is I literally nodded off quite a few times, and I had to step outside and get air. I have to sit down and watch it again. I'm not going to actually give a review of Che because I need to sit down and watch it when I'm conscious and can actually do more than make jokes.
Well, Leon's been trying to watch it, and he says it's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah, he's like, and he hasn't been up for 20 hours
to watch Che.
Oh, stop, man. Sorry.
You actually put that together, and you're like, you are not singing Boys to Men.
But and that's what because at first I was like, what is he doing? Are you making up a song? It's like, oh, god damn it, only you could like combine a movie with Boys to Men, and I call it Che. I mean, I don't know if it's Shay or Che. Is it? How do you pronounce
Shay.
it? Okay, so it is Shay then. Okay,
Yeah, Che. Che Guevara.
yeah.
Che Guevara.
Well, I've always heard people
Guevara.
say Che Guevara. You know, I mean, so like Puerto Ricans say Che, man. So,
What you doing, man?
yeah, hey, man, Che, man. So
Scarface all over again.
now, okay, forget about that movie, man. Now,
You asked about
the
that.
one. No, I was just wondering, like, why after 20, you gonna show some people a 4-hour movie of some dude walking through the jungle after you've been up for 24 hours before
was
that?
rough.
Like, what the fuck? Okay, never mind. Now, forget about that movie. What I'm really here to talk about with you is 2 movies.
Well, we're going to talk about 2, but we can cover everything if you want. I mean,
Well, this is going to be kind of short because I mean, you know, we don't. There's a lot to cover. We'll cover it on the next cold ones.
Oh, no, I'm just talking about the little things. I'm not talking about reviewing the movies.
Oh no, you're not talking about. Okay, well, let's see what. You know what? Apparently, you have an agenda here, so let me hear what you got.
Well, I saw lots of different stuff. There are 2 really big things that I saw. And of
That's
course,
what I want to hear about.
22 minutes of Watchmen, which is the first 22 minutes of Watchmen. And then I watched the first 45 minutes of the new Pixar movie, Up. Now, they also showed us clips from Monsters vs. Aliens, Coraline. We saw McGee showed up, and McGee showed a trailer for actually not a trailer, a sizzle reel, a bunch of just different clips of Terminator 4, and talked about that. And God, what else? We got to see a scene from Knowing. We saw a couple scenes from the new movie Push.
The one where the people with the psychic
powers,
yeah.
Dakota Fanning, where Dakota Fanning looking in that way that makes all of the guys I know go, yeah, she's gonna be really hot there in 4 years.
I say nothing.
You already said it. You were already that.
When did
friend.
I say that? I said
when we had Kent here, and Kent brought up the picture, and
oh yeah,
I
did say that. Yeah, I did. That was me.
Oh yeah, no,
I own up to
it's
that.
totally recorded, and I better cop to it now.
So, all right, what I want to hear about mostly, because even with you naming all that stuff, I want to know about, first of all, Watchmen.
Yeah.
You said 22 minutes of it, huh?
The first 22. We watched the opening of the film going up. For those of you that know the comic book, it followed the comic book pretty much. I mean, not just pretty much. I mean, in pacing, all the scenes were in order from page 1 up until page 13 of the very first comic. So if you're following along at the book at home, we got up to the point where Rorschach and Night Owl are down in the Night Owl's sanctum, and Rorschach walks down the tunnel, and then it faded to black, and the whole audience went, "Oh!" because everyone was really into it. It looks really good. First of all, it looks like Watchmen. It is exactly. I mean, that trailer wasn't just. I mean, quite literally, there are whole scenes that are taken right out of the comic book. It's framed the same way. Everything looks exact. My problem is we had gotten to a point where it didn't quite feel like Watchmen yet. I mean, we were going through the motions, but we hadn't hit anything important. So, to be fair, we weren't far enough.
Well, you
to
watched
really judge.
you can't really tell from 20 minutes right
No.
there. I mean, it's going to be a long movie too.
But the credit sequence, which is the new thing to it, is beautiful. Oh my God! It's that thing they do where they shoot something live action to make it look still life, but there's just a slow movement in it. They did that in Buffalo 66 quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's how the entire opening sequence is, with iconic shots from the comic book, all stuff that would be in pictures. And so it looks really cool.
No, that's probably the movie I'm looking forward to the most in 2009. I mean, there's a lot of shit coming up.
Now there are some things that people are complaining about. They refer to the group of superheroes as the Watchmen, which in the book they were called the Minutemen.
Mm-hmm.
And they changed that to Watchmen because Watchmen was really concept that was all about the title of the book. It wasn't about important things in the comic. And here it's like one of those nitpicky things that already it's what I call a Horn of Gondor moment. It's one of those things.
What the hell is the Horn of Gondor?
Okay, when the first Lord of the Rings came out, there's a thing in there called the Horn of Gondor, which Boromir picks up and blows to tell people he's in trouble. And in the book is described as this sonorous, just epic thing. And it's eloquently described in the book. And, in the movie, it's and people got really pissed. And all these guys fired up on the internet and begged Peter Jackson to change the sound of the Horn of Gondor because that's not how it sounds like in the book. And it's like, who fucking cares? It's a horn. It's not. I mean, the book is the book, the movie's the movie, and the horn didn't need to sound epic. And they're like, it's just one little sound effect. Well, you know what? They call it the Watchmen. Deal.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember. I've seen fans like that. I actually went to see the Lord of the Rings with a friend of mine, a guy named Mark Finn, who's a nice guy, but in the middle of the theater, I put my head down. Mark's a sweet guy, but when they announced that, like, Gandalf comes out and he says, it's the Balrog, and he gets up in the theater like it's a concert. He's like, yeah!
I remember that screening.
Do you? Oh,
I was there.
That's right. You were there. So I was like, oh my, sit your ass down, man. So yeah, these fans are crazy. So I can see the same thing happening with this movie because, well, look, they brought that on themselves because, and I don't know if Zack Snyder came out and said it, so it's probably not his fault, but somewhere in the reporting on this movie, they were saying it's going to be a direct translation of the book. And
he said that repeatedly.
Oh, okay.
He said that at Comic-Con a year and a half ago, San Diego Comic-Con. He started describing, and I wrote about this because he described the opening scene in the comedian's apartment. He talks about how he can't think of any other better way to tell the story than how it's told right there on the page. And that stuck out to me because I'm like, oh, right on. You're going to be telling it straight from the comic book. And then when I watched this, it's not told exactly as it is in the comic. In the comic, every other frame is what's going on in the comedian's apartment when he's getting his ass whooped and getting thrown out the window. And the other half is the investigators looking into it.
Yeah.
Here it's told linearly. It opens, in that scene where he's sitting in his apartment in his bathrobe and somebody knocks at the door and he walks up and then we actually see the assailant, something we don't see in the comic book, and watch him kick the living shit out of the comedian. And then the next scene is the cops showing up and doing what the cops do during that sequence.
Yeah, no, and you know what? I mean, I'm trying to be cool. He actually, at the last Comic-Con, he actually referred to it as, he's like, I have the Bible right here.
Yes.
And I'm using this. And I mean, I was there when he was saying that shit. I was like, you can't do that. I mean, not with that book. I mean, it's going to be extremely hard. You can do it. Yeah, you're right. You can do anything.
The thing that made me nervous was the fact that we were 22 minutes in and we were only on page 13 of the comic book. So it's kind of like,
what's this movie gonna be like?
There's 12 32-page comics in this series.
Well, that's because they took probably some of those extra pages out. The articles, the notes.
Those are but those are gone. And then the pirate story is going to end up on DVD.
Yeah, the animated DVD. Cut. Yeah.
But the thing is apparently his cut came out to 3.5 hours, and they're making him cut it down to 2.5 hours. So there's an hour of stuff that's going to go, and that's where I'm concerned.
I don't mind if they do that as long as we can get.
We're going to have a director's cut.
Yeah, if we get a theatrical cut.
We're going to have the big 4-hour director's cut.
Well, if there's a theatrical cut and it plays fine, I'm good with that. And then you can watch the DVD when it comes out.
And, of course, he's changing the ending.
So he is changing the ending.
He's changing the ending.
So that was true. Everything is changed.
He's changing the ending.
Oh, okay. Spoiler right here, because I'm just going to come out and ask you directly. If you don't know what happens at the end, get up for like 30 seconds. I'm going to make it quick. Not a squid, but an atom bomb.
I don't know if that's true.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if that's exactly what's happening or not. I don't know. In fact, people I've talked to don't exactly know because they're not really revealing it. What it is apparently whatever it is, the scale is bigger. I don't imagine it's going to be a bomb. Because the problem is Zack Snyder was annoyed with the fact that when he sat down to make it, he's like, shit, the season finale of Heroes, the first season, is the ending to Watchmen. And it is. They totally ripped off Watchmen.
Yeah.
An explosion and, people are trying to set up an explosion in New York City for the betterment of humanity, and these guys have to stop it. And it's, and a lot of the elements are really Watchmen-esque, and he was terrified that he would spend all this money and make this beautiful movie, and people would get to the end and go, oh, you just ripped off the ending to Heroes. So we decided to change it. Now, first of all, I think that's tremendously douchey. But what I'm hearing is that he's making it bigger. That whatever happens on a much larger scale, and if that's what happens, if it still remains the ending of the story, that we still have what happens at the end, it just happens to be bigger than blowing up New York, I'm fine with that.
Well, I even heard that whatever he's doing, he's doing it because it makes more sense too. in a movie context.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, well, exactly. We'll see. Anyway, so that's Watchmen right there.
That's Watchmen.
All right. Then the other one is probably the total opposite of Watchmen, is a Pixar movie.
Yes.
Though you've probably seen the trailer, people, with the old man who comes out, cranky old guy. His house starts to fly, and he does it all with these colorful balloons.
Yep. And that is Carl, and that is Up. Up, they showed us the first 45 minutes. Now, it wasn't complete. A lot of it was storyboard or partial rendering of the CG, and then there was a lot of complete stuff. And I got to say, if this keeps up, no pun intended, if this keeps going the way it looks, this may be one of the best Pixar movies they've made. The trailer tells you nothing. So what I'm going to tell you right now is the setup for this film. Corey, you've seen The Notebook, right?
Yes.
Imagine if they took The Notebook and compacted it into 10 minutes at the beginning of a Pixar movie.
So where the guy has Alzheimer's?
No, what it is it's a story. It starts out with Carl. And Carl's a little 10-year-old boy, and he's the world's biggest fan of this world-famous 1930s era explorer who has just flown his Zeppelin down to Central America to the last unexplored place there, this huge plateau where he claims he discovered a dinosaur. And this guy is this big, super adventurer, a Lindbergh type. And he's kind of wandering around with his little balloon called the Spirit of Adventure, which is the name of the Zeppelin, and he meets a little girl who also is obsessed with this adventurer, and they become fast friends. And they both want to grow up and be adventurers, and that's what they want to do, and they become friends, and they like each other. And then we have the credit sequence, which is a montage which takes us through them being teenagers, them falling in love, them getting married, them needing a job, them growing old together. And then it ends at the very end of that sequence with the wife dying, with that little girl now, passing on as an old woman. And Carl's left all alone. And his house is being encroached by all these big developments, and they're trying to get rid of him. And he's kind of sitting there, and he's just like, what am I going to do? Well, they had, as kids, talked about building a house.
Now, this is a kid's movie.
This is a kid's movie. Now,
so far, this sounds delightful.
It's, oh my God, it's heartbreaking.
Kids, you're going to get old.
The thing is,
they're going to tear your house down.
The little girl's dream was to have a house on top of that plateau where that adventurer had visited, right by the huge waterfall there that goes 3,000 feet down. And so Carl's like, what do I do, baby? What am I going to do? And he gets an idea, and he decides, screw it. I'm going to fly my house to that plateau, and I'm going to fulfill my wife's lifelong dream, and I'm going to put this house down by those falls. And so he says, screw you to everybody, fills his house full of balloons, and turns his house into an airship to fly down and land his house on this plateau.
That sounds stupid. No, I'm kidding, man. Come on, I'm joking. Even though, who'd want to marry Carl? Because in the trailer, Carl's a little stubborn motherfucker, man.
Well, he is when he's 80 years old.
He's mean.
Yeah, when he's 80 years old.
Assaulting Cub Scouts and all kinds of
Well,
shit.
the problem is there's this obnoxious Cub Scout who keeps showing up at his door, this Cub Scout needs one more badge to complete his big sash so he can go from being a Cub Scout to a Boy Scout. And he needs the helping the elderly badge. And so Carl sends him out on a snipe hunt, telling him he'll get his badge if he comes back with a snipe. And he eventually comes back, but he comes back when Carl launches his house airship. And so now this Cub Scout is trapped on this house, flying to Central America with this crotchety old man.
Now he has to change Carl's diapers and everything, man.
And
it's a horror movie.
But the thing is
it sounds sweet though.
The thing is they get to Central America pretty early, but they're on the opposite side of the plateau, so they need to make their way on this wild adventure through the jungle carrying this floating house. And it's about all the crazy stuff they run into there. And they end up running into these really cool dogs who somebody's had collars that can read their minds and translate it into English. So the dogs are talking through these collars, but they're dogs. And
okay, I'm not saying you're telling us wrong, but this sounds
crazy.
It sounds insane. It sounds like you just saw a bunch of clips and put them together in
No.
your mind, and it doesn't make any fucking sense how they go.
And when you watch it, it all works
Now,
and makes
listen-
it. But it is
yeah.
that's what works about this is it is so wildly original. You've not seen a film like this before or this story. It's people were crying in the first 10 minutes of this movie when it's
Crying 'cause
telling
they
that
didn't understand
story.
what the hell is going on.
No, dude, I'm telling you.
I'm gonna let you go, but listen, this is what you just told me. A man's wife dies, so
Yes.
he decides to fill a bunch of balloons to raise his house off the ground while he kidnaps a Boy Scout and flies to South America to talk to dogs who talk through collars. This
Are you even listening to me?
No, not really. I'm just
No.
putting together the most colorful things you're telling me.
Yeah.
No,
No. This, dude, it's Pixar. Trust in Pixar; they will provide.
I do. Some of
It's-
the best storytellers out there.
Yeah, no, and it really works. It was one of those things where we were all very upset they didn't show us the last 45 minutes because it was one of those things where it's like they're like, well, it's not done. It's like, well, the beginning wasn't done. The entire beginning was done with storyboards, and we loved it. We were crying at storyboards. That's how good this story is, and it is going to. It really is a beautiful, touching story about a guy at the end of his life trying to fulfill his wife's dream.
Are you sure you weren't crying because you knew Shay was coming up next?
I didn't know Shay was coming.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Shay was like 12 hours after this thing.
All
this
right,
was
all right.
this was fairly early, but it was, man, Up is going to be really, really good. And those dogs, the talking dogs, they make talking dogs work and be interesting. And it's really,
Well, I can't wait for it. Any Pixar movie, regardless of what I think of it afterwards, is an event film to me.
yeah.
when
And
it's
this
coming
is,
up. So
this one, it really. In watching it, I felt like I did with Wall-E, only I was even more touched than I was with Wall-E, because you fall in love with Carl very early on, and,
Okay.
and you like that crotchety old man. He's awesome.
excellent then. Well, good report there. There's your extra Coco people. I'll give to you because we weren't here last week.
Just a little bit extra.
Just a little bit.
Just a smidge.
Yeah, you had your meal.
You
Now-
want me to? Can I talk about Monsters vs. Aliens really quick?
Okay, really quick.
Just really quick, just
Yeah.
because.
I'm looking forward to that. Looks
You know
funny.
what?
Wait, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Is that Seth Rogen doing the Blob?
Yes,
Okay.
that's Seth Rogen doing the Blob, and now because you've asked me who's doing it, I've lost the names of everybody doing everyone. The thing about Monsters vs. Aliens, the basic premise is that Earth gets invaded by an alien ship. And the alien ship goes nuts and starts attacking everyone. And the government's trying to figure out what to do. And they've got this secret program in Area 51 where they keep all these 50s B-movie monsters that they captured over the years. And they decide to turn those monsters loose against the aliens. And so we've got the 49-foot... 11 3/4 inch woman. We've got the Blob, which is called Bob.
Bob the Blob.
Well, no, he's Bob.
Just
because,
Bob.
Because they couldn't get the rights to a lot of these things. So he's the Bob. He's like bicarbonate organism something. And we've got that. We've got what's essentially Mothra, this giant moth.
Yeah.
And we've got
The Fly.
What?
The guy who is the Fly, right?
We've got the guy who's effectively the Fly, and then we have the creature from the Black Lagoon. And they're all thrown at these monsters trying to figure out how to take down this alien. So the thing is all the stuff with them that they showed us was really cool, and it looked really cool. They showed it in 3D, and the 3D looked incredible. Not as incredible as Coraline looked, which is something else they showed us, which is the thing by Henry Selick, who did Nightmare Before Christmas.
And
but,
James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah, but it looked really good.
Yeah.
The problem I had, and this is my one problem, was there's a scene in which the president, played by Stephen Colbert, he goes up to communicate with the alien, and it's that thing right out of Close Encounters of the Third Kind where he starts playing the song da 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 da, and then it turns into a total DreamWorks animated thing, and they have to throw the pop culture references at you, and he starts playing Axel F. and starts rocking out to Axel F.
It could be funny.
Da, 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 da. Some people thought it was fun. I'm tired of these, incessant pop culture references.
I am too. No, I am too. I mean, and I'm not going to lie. I wish they make a pure movie. When I mean by pure,
45 minutes of Up, and there wasn't a single pop culture
Yeah.
reference in there. We loved it. They showed us 2 scenes from Monsters vs. Aliens, and it was pretty much nothing but pop culture references.
Oh, well.
So that's
the thing. That's what earns them money, I guess.
But it looks cool, and it definitely looks closer to Kung Fu Panda than it does
Everything
Madagascar 2.
Okay.
So You know what? I hope that's really good. Coraline, I'll just throw this in real quick, looks incredible.
Yeah.
It was.
The trailer has me amazed.
Oh, and when you watch it in 3D, that's how you have to watch it. It's incredible. It's like being dropped into an acid trip right in the middle of a Rankin Bass world. It's like you're in a Rankin Bass movie. It's incredible.
Nice.
So, and that looks interesting. The story's kind of cool, and it's just gorgeous. So we've got a lot of really cool animated projects coming up very shortly. So this should be a really interesting year for animated films.
Yeah, we got Spill the movie coming out. That's going to be a great animated
That's
movie.
That's going to be awful. Oh, my God. Those guys so sold out.
A cast of nobodies.
A cast of thousands of nobodies.
So, all right. So, that's it.
There it is.
There's your bonus. People.
There's your bonus.
Yeah.
All right.
You've had your meal, and now this is a little smidgen of dessert. All right. That's it. Thank you.